What's up, fellas? We're back. Ballpark Beef coming at you again with another episode. We're going to talk a little bit about baseball, and then we're going to run into a mock draft, baby. Let's run that shit. Roll that music.
Welcome back to another episode of Ballpark Beef. As Jimmy just implied, we are going to do our little baseball corner for our teams, and we're going to run into a full 12-team PPR fantasy football mock draft. We're going to go in depth in our picks. We're going to talk about some other picks. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. That'll probably be most of the episode, but stick along for the ride. We're going to do a quick baseball, and then we're going to football, baby. But boys, always got to do weekly check-in. How was your week? How you doing? Go Yankees.
Yeah, man, it's been a good week. Got to hang out with the boys and the girls, setting up our vacation trip. Unfortunately, we're gonna miss Jimmy, but other than that, it was a pretty successful week.
Sounds like a fire time, by the way. Can't wait for you guys to do that. You have to tell me some stories, and I'll catch you on the next one, apparently. I'm down for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, Jimmy. We're gonna miss you, bud. It's gonna be a good time. Not trying to rub it in any way. Wish you could be there. But duty calls, essentially, right? Duty
Love
calls.
that. Love that. Go enjoy
Uh,
yourself.
I mean, it was a good week, man. Every week's good. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's happy. That's all you can ask for in life. Health and happiness. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
a success on the fly, but that's all you
Little
can
little
ask for.
top bin once in a while can't hurt.
That's all you can ask for, man. But yeah, I'll go into the Yankees real quick. It'll be real quick. The Yankees are the hottest team in New York right now. Uh, and listen, the offense looks good, man. Volpe is coming alive since the last 15 days. He's batting 340. Judge is still the best hitter in baseball. They are intentionally walking him 3 at-bats out of 4 now. Juan Soto's still a dog. Jazz Chisholm looks really good, playing third base really well. I appreciate him. Austin Wells is doing very well in the 4 spot. And even Gleyber Torres, after being benched for just looking completely lazy. I don't know what it is. I think it's a head thing for him. I think he's getting in his head. It's contract year. I think he just has all these things in his head. I think he knows he's not going to be a Yankee next year. I think he 100% knows that. But he looks very lazy when he plays. I know you guys don't watch Yankee games, maybe highlights, but he looks very lazy. It's just looks lethargic with him. So he was benched, but he is hitting 283 in his last 15 games. He's looked decent. He hasn't had a bad since the All-Star break. As far as pitching, Garrett Cole hasn't looked great. His stuff just doesn't have the life that Garrett Cole has. I think it has a lot to do with getting hurt and trying to ramp back up. It's going to be tough. We'll see. But yeah, the rest of the rotation looks all right. Stroman and Cortez, can't trust them. Rotation's going to be our biggest issue in the playoffs. And then bullpen is doing a lot better than they were. A lot better. But yeah, the Yankees are tied for first place, tied for the AL East, 7-3 in their last 10. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Mets. Let's talk about the Mets. The Mets went to the West Coast this week, and a little pit stop in St. Louis, and then back to the West Coast again. We swept the St. Louis series, by the way, one game. So we're 3-0 against we're 3-0 against the teams in this podcast in our last 3 games. So suck it. Mets are the real deal. We're competing for a wild card spot. We're game and a half out. We're on a little bit of a cold streak right now. We're 5-5 in our last 10. Pete Alonso, Francisco Lindor, a little cold at the plate. Jeff McNeil continuing his hot streak since the All-Star break. Mets pitching looking all right. Sean Manaea threw a gem last night. And yeah, just looking to do some damage on the West Coast trip. The Mets play a lot of games in August, so it's time to start winning again. If we like our chances in the wild card race, we should start winning.
And the Mets have a very good schedule to stack wins. Like they're playing some teams where they should be able to stack some wins. They should have won that series against the Angels. I know any given series anyone can beat, but that's a series they should have won. Start up the West Coast trip on a good note. Unfortunately, they did it, but they have the Rockies now. They did just take the 1 game set. The other one was canceled, right? So they have the Rockies
No,
now.
this was just a makeup game.
Oh, it was just a makeup. So they just
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, so it was just a makeup. And now they have the Rockies, but this part of the schedule is where the Mets need to stack some wins. They need to stack wins. With the Padres getting hot, the Braves kind of coming to life. They need to start stacking wins and really solidify themselves in the wild card. And honestly, like they do have a chance at taking the wild card spot, the top spot, but they just need to stack wins on this West Coast trip. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Mets schedule, it looks very easy in August, and then when you get to September, it looks like the Mets are it's gonna come down to the wire. 2 series against Philly, Atlanta, and Milwaukee to end the year. So if the Mets are gonna try and make any moves, now is the time so they could at least afford to lose some games here and there in September.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to start stacking some wins and if they do that, they're looking good, man.
Yeah. On the other hand, the Cardinals look like shit. They're on their downslope of the roller coaster, as I've been saying all year. 4-6 in the last 10. Back to 500 baseball. They went to Chicago, who isn't really having a great year, and they lost 3 out of 4. Um, Starters just giving up 4, 5, 6 runs, and the offense is cooled down a little, where they're not hitting collectively and not putting up as many runs. That's going to lose you baseball games. The Tommy Pham trade seems to be one of the best trades the Cardinals have made since they don't make often trades recently. He's batting 360 in the last 7 days with 7 RBIs. Nolan's coming around hitting 348. But Wilson Contreras batting 154. Got Paul Goldschmidt still batting 192. I mean, he's having one of his worst years. The Cardinals are just a team that isn't winning baseball games right now, and it's not fun to watch. Like I said, the starters are giving up, 4 or 5 runs. It kind of hurt watching Helsley blow that 2-run lead opener in Chicago. Kind of set the tone for the series, losing 3 out of 4. But let's hope the roller coaster starts making an upturn where they could push for the wild card. I mean, they're only 4 games out. It's tight between 6 teams. So I mean, my hope isn't out, but right now the hope's not high.
No,
You know
yeah,
what, Nick? That was a really good take. I'm gonna give you some props. That was a good take. There's a lot of stats in there, like nice, good like extended answers. That was a good Cardinals corner. I'm just didn't mean to interrupt you, John.
no, that I mean that I was gonna honestly say a similar thing. That was great, Nick. I don't think we've ever gotten something out of you like that. I don't know what's going on. Something happened in your personal life, like something going on. Are you drunk? Like that was good stuff, man. Like that made me proud. And my last point was I didn't even realize the Mets are out of the wild card right now. So they need to start stacking wins. But yeah,
Well, there's a three-way tie at the top.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
there's a sleeper team, the Diamondbacks. They won what, 4, 8, 10 of their last 12.
I wouldn't say they're a sleeper. They made the World
But I'm
Series
saying,
last year.
like if you looked at the wild card, 2 weeks ago, they were more in the middle to the end.
Yeah.
Now they're currently tied.
Yeah, but they were one of those teams that got hot at the end of the year and made the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to have a 3-way tie, middle of August, early August.
Yeah. So we'll see, but
Good race.
Mets
Yeah.
got to stack and Cardinals got to string along a few wins.
Yeah, they got to
Sure.
start climbing up, bro. I'll be on the couch watching everybody else play.
Yeah, that's for sure. But all right, let's get into the fun part. Why we're all here. That only took 7 minutes. That was like a 6-7 minute bit. So we have to prolong this, and we are going to because there's a lot to talk about. This we're doing a full mock draft with our actual positions. So we did our randomizer last week. Jimmy is the 1-6. I am the 1-8. Nick is the 1-12. So we're gonna kind of go through picks 1 through 5. Very very minimal. Because in my opinion, with the guys we have in our league, it's gonna be interesting how the first 5 go. I think Jimmy has an idea of what he's probably gonna get. For me, it's really up in the air on how the first 7 picks go. So I'm gonna start it up. they're gonna auto pick the first 5, and then we're gonna get to Jimmy, and we'll kind of talk about those first 5 picks. So let's start this up. This is a 12-team PPR, 1 QB league.
Single flex as well.
Single flex, yes. Okay. So first 5 picks kind of went how I expected them to. And Jimmy gets the man he wants, I assume. But first pick is CMC. I think he's 101 or 102. Jimmy loves CD at 101. That's Jimmy's value. Tyreek at 1-2. I don't think you can go wrong with either Tyreek or CD there. Jamar Chase at 103 before CD and JJ is interesting, but Jamar Chase does have that talent. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, I think the top 3 are locks. I think I've been very firm on this since the beginning. It's CD Lamb, CMC, Tyreek Hill for me in that order. Pick number 4, in my opinion, I think actually Chase is kind of moving up my board a little bit. I'm convinced that Joe Burrow is going to have a him season this year. I believe in the Bengals offense, and I think JJ with his quarterback question marks right now, I think he fits in, either the 5, 6, or 7 spot. In all honesty, so not really surprised. Not really surprised that this player got down to me, but also in another sense, like I don't expect to see him on draft day. Amon-Ra St. Brown comes down to pick number 6 for me, and I think that's an easy draft pick for me. So I would draft Amon-Ra at 6 all day.
So I
And
have a question. Do you guys really think that it's gonna go 4 wide receivers, or do you think Bijan or Brees Hall fall into, the early picks?
so this is what I'm trying to say. I know how some of these guys think at the top of the board. Like, where's the draft order?
So I have the draft order in front of me. So the guy who has the second pick is the one who had, I think, 4 or 5 running backs all starting last year, and he had 4 tight ends, I believe. Um, then the third pick is someone that we've never played with before, so that could go either way. And then the fourth pick we had Javi, who shocked us last year, taking Stephon Diggs at like the 105.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to pan out how we want it to pan out or how Jimmy wants it to pan out. I think it might actually no, I'm sorry. Let me retract that whole statement. I think it's going to pan out how Jimmy wants to. He's going to get one of the top receivers, and I think I will actually get one of the top receivers. I think Bijan and Brees Hall go earlier. I really think these guys are going to take RB early. And listen, I am fine with that. I would love Brees Hall. I'm fine with taking Brees Hall at 108. But and Bijan, I'll take either one. But if JJ or Jamar Chase falls to me, which is possible with how these guys draft,
Or
I
even
am.
Amon-Ra.
Oh, well, I think Jimmy's taking Amon-Ra regardless of who's on the board. I think
If I
Jimmy.
if I have my choice, genuinely, my top 3 wide receivers, Lamb, Hill, Amon-Ra.
Yeah, and you got to remember the volumes there for Amon-Ra. I think he's the third best wide receiver on this in this draft. He has a solidified quarterback. No offense to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow just hasn't stayed healthy. Jamar Chase hasn't stayed healthy. Amon-Ra had a torn oblique last year and put up 1,500 yards.
Dog.
Like, dog. Okay, he's gonna have the target share. He's gonna have the volume. You can say Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. He still put up 1,500 yards with them all last year. He's 103 wide receivers. I think Jimmy goes Amon-Ra regardless of who's there. I don't think he cares.
Well,
JJ,
if Lamb or Hill
well,
fall to me, I mean, that's
yeah,
just like a gift wrapped up and placed in your lap, so
of course, but for that to happen, a lot of shit crazy has to go down. I don't think that's gonna happen, but if it does, I mean,
There's a slight chance, somebody
it's
who's
gotta
not,
be
into
yeah.
fantasy like we are might just say, "Hey, JJ still on the board. I'm taking him."
by name, yeah,
It's gotta be JJ, Chase, and the 2 running backs have to go ahead for me to have my choice of those 2.
yeah.
Well, only one of the running backs because you forgot Tyreek Hill.
No, I'm saying, like, if Hill or Lamb fall to me, I'm taking them over Amon-Ra.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, you want to take your pick at 106?
Yep, so this is an easy Amon-Ra. Did you pause it?
Yeah, I think you should still be able to pick, no?
No.
Okay, let me resume it.
The little sound
Alright.
effects have me crying.
Wow. All right.
Alright,
So
so this is not at all how it'll ever go. Puka should never go 107.
no.
And can I give you my take on your pick before you to make the pick?
Yes.
I think you're overthinking this, and here's why. I think that this pick is very, very simple, and I think that this determines your entire draft strategy based on this pick. I think you run a certain type of team based on this pick, and you you should commit to it because I think it's the right move in the 108 position. I'm trying to be vague purposely because I wanted to see who you pick, and then I want to comment after.
So
Yeah, I think this pick's a no-brainer, to be honest.
there's a lot of options here, and like I've very much considered taking Garrett Wilson at 108. Like that has been on my mind. Garrett Wilson. These would be my top three at this pick. I don't like AJ Brown. He he disappeared last year. Jameer Gibbs. Jameer Gibbs. He was a dog last year. He's supposed to get more volume, but he still has Montgomery there. So the honestly the three guys I'm between at this pick right here is Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, and Bijan Robinson. So the way I'm going to break this down is Bijan, he has Tyler Algier, and they limited last year, but he's in a new offense. Who knows how that offense is going to work? Brees Hall he's going to have a healthy quarterback, hopefully. Even if he doesn't, he still put up 1,200 yards last year, I think. Let me look it up. Let me get the exact.
12-12.
He put up he put up all-purpose. He put up about 1,500 all-purpose yards. And he had 9 touchdowns. And he was RB2 in PPR. I can't pass up on Brees Hall. I have to take Brees Hall. In my opinion, I think he's the pick here.
Brees Hall's the pick here.
That's
Definitely.
that's the obvious pick.
I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm not
I
going
I
with
think
anyone other than Brees Hall.
yeah, I think it's Brees Hall, and I'm very interested to see who you click on 205.
Okay. All right.
He
Puka's
didn't
hurt.
pause it, but it's okay.
Puka's hurt by the way, and he's not going to go there.
Okay. So the let me just say how it went, this is interesting. Bijan went, then Jameer Gibbs, then Marvin Harrison Jr., which is interesting. I'm not against it. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is gonna have a great year. People forget Kyler Murray is actually a good quarterback. He's not terrible. And he throws it up. I remember the days with him and DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins was like a top 5 wide receiver with Kyler Murray. I'm not saying Marvin Harrison Jr. is the next DeAndre Hopkins, but if he gets that similar volume, he could be a top 10 wide receiver.
Yeah, I agree.
But it was Bijan, Gibbs, and Harrison, and now it's Nick's pick at the 12. So Nick, what are you thinking here? I think this is an easy one.
So based off the way that this draft went, it's definitely a one wide receiver, one running back since I have back-to-back picks. I personally, so my options right now are AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, and Kyron Williams. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of AJ Brown. I've had him before. I just think his inconsistencies in the first round is not for me. I think for me, this is an obvious Garrett Wilson, and I think taking Saquon in the new Philly offense is like the one for me.
So I will say this real quick because I know Jimmy wants to chime in. He's itching over there. These 3 running backs right here, I don't like any of them. I'm like off on all 3 of them. I'm off on JT. I'm off on Barkley. I'm off on Kyron. I'm trying to stay away from them. And JT, he can't stay healthy. Anthony Richardson's back. Um, JT can't stay healthy, bro. Saquon, health issues. He's in a new offense. He's a year older. I mean, yes, Philly is a very run heavy team, so we'll see. But who knows? Kyron, they got Blake Corum. Who knows how that's going to work out? Maybe they limit his snaps. I don't know, but I have been all off on these 3 running backs right here. But if you think you have to go wide receiver running back, that's up to you because the next pick is in 12 picks, so you're a few tiers down there.
I want to hear what Jimmy has to say.
I think this is an easy click on AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson. Easy click. I'm steering clear of all those running backs. If the draft fell to you this way and I'm at the 12 and I'm you, I am so happy. I got two guys at the top of my lineup in the wide receiver position who AJ Brown, solidified number one receiver in Philly. Garrett Wilson, probably he could break fantasy this year. He could literally be a league winning wide receiver. So I think it's an easy click on both of them.
So my biggest thing about going wide receiver, running back is in the previous years, I've always like lacked the running back position, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why I haven't been like going anywhere.
There's
The
there's
problem with
value, man.
Yeah, the problem with this year is like the valuation on wide receivers is so high. So once you start deviating from not taking wide receivers, you get in a position where you're falling behind in that position. So when you're getting down in the draft and you need running backs at the 4 through 8 kind of rounds, you're picking shit running backs because the value for other positions are better. So to me, it's either avoid it completely or take one and have him be your hero.
All right, well, since I've done a lot of mock drafts, I'm gonna go with what you guys suggest, and I'm gonna see how it plans out compared to my other ones. So I'm gonna take AJ Brown and Garrett Wilson.
Now's the time to take the risk, right? See what happens.
Okay, so that's what I didn't want to happen. And so, all right, me and Jimmy were actually texting about this, I think yesterday. We are talking about Drake London. Drake London scares me so much, dude. And the reason he scares me is because he hasn't ever had solid quarterback play. But the issue is JJ hasn't always had solid quarterback play. Chris Olave hasn't always had solid quarterback play, and he hasn't put up 1,000-yard season yet. So he scares me to the point where I don't even want to take him. I know his value is so much better with Kirk Cousins. I know this. But he just scares me. And here it's for me. It's between three guys. I'm passing on Saquon. I don't want Saquon. I need to take a wide receiver here because my next pick, I'm going to be tearing down a lot for a wide receiver. So I'm between. Actually, there is a running back here that I might be interested in. So Devontae Adams, who I don't think you can ever pass up on Devontae Adams in a year. I like Devontae Adams every year. He puts up 1,000 yards everywhere. He's like a Mike Evans, but better. Chris Olave. Now, Chris Olave just scares me because quarterback play, but you can't let that scare you. It's Chris Olave. And then Travis Etienne. He's a spicy guy. He was RB3 last year. If I could pair him with Brees Hall and then hopefully on the next turnaround get some solid wide receivers, I like that. So I'm going to go out different here because we're doing a mock. And I'm going to take Travis Etienne to pair him with Brees Hall. Just because we're doing a different kind of mock here. I just want to see how this team works out. And I know Jimmy's shaking his head. Why are you shaking your head, Jimmy?
I'm shaking my head because this is a horrible position for you. This is horrible. Because you're kind of forced to go two running backs. You don't get a guy at wide receiver. And I don't think Sam Laporta should go in this position. He's hurt. He's got a hamstring injury already in camp. And I don't necessarily even have him as my tight end one, so I wouldn't even take him here. So you're in an awful place. Devontae Adams is going to be on a bottom 5 offense. Chris Olave, question marks all over the quarterback room. Your best pick might be 2 RBs here.
Yeah, and Brandon Ayuk is there, and that wouldn't be a terrible pick, but I think ETN has to be the pick here. I think he's the best value here. Unfortunately, every other player here has questions. Brandon Ayuk might be traded. Chris Olave has Derek Carr throwing in the ball. Sam Laporta is a tight end, and I'm not taking him in the second round. Devontae Adams has either Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew throwing him the ball, and then Saquon Barkley, who the fuck knows? So my pick here is going to be Travis Etienne. So I'll have RB2 and RB3 from last year. So I would say I'm set at RB at this point. This is tough. 108's tough. All right, Jimmy is at. Let me pause this. So Jimmy took ARSB in the first round. 207. Jimmy, what are you looking at here?
I have a very specific strategy for this draft, and I think it could go my way. It's just, this is tough now. Okay, so I think here my main target is the question mark in Ayuk. I think that's my second round target overall.
Mhm.
Devontae Adams, don't like the offense. Sam Laporta would never take him here. Chris Olave, too many question marks, and I don't think that Josh Allen is the right play. I think there's value in the quarterback position way later in the draft. I know Josh Allen is, the best quarterback in the league as far as, fantasy goes. Gets it done on the ground, gets it done over the air. The offense just took a step back, in my opinion, this year. So I don't feel confident going with Josh Allen when I know there's value later in the draft. So I think for those reasons, I think the Ayuk button here is the one I'm pressing.
Okay. And do you think, in your opinion, I should have taken Ayuk over ETN, or do you think ETN's the right pick there?
You're
It's tough.
tough. I think IU could wait a little bit more, but I mean for you, like in that position with no guys going like no wide receivers for you, you're so behind on wide receiver now. You are
I know.
so behind.
I
By the
know.
time you get to 3-8, like who are we looking at? We're looking at like number twos in offenses like
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs or Nico Collins. Like
Yeah.
that's tough to be behind the eight ball like that. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, you got two stud running backs, so hopefully they can stay
Yeah.
healthy. It's just
Yeah.
such a volatile position.
So
All
are
right.
you guys not high on Olave just because of his quarterback situation?
Yes.
Yes. Not at
Hmm.
20 ADP, not at the 210.
He was wide receiver 16 last year. That's to spend second round value on him. I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just asking.
Yep.
All
So I
right.
think you can unpause it, and it's Ayuk for me here.
Okay.
Hey, where do they got? Oh, they got him going there. Okay, yeah. It's Ayuk here for me. Laporta, Olave, Josh Jacobs, Travis Kelsey, Achan, Josh Allen 301, Devontae finally. Wow. Debo, Derrick Henry, Stephon Diggs, back to me.
See, so
So
this is the
All
only
right.
thing I don't like about mock drafts. Like, do you guys really think Travis Kelsey and Laporta are gonna go in the second round?
no, I think Kelsey has a chance to. I don't think Laporta will. Now I will say this about Jimmy. I think Jimmy's dream pick right there would have been Derrick Henry. I think Jimmy would have loved Derrick Henry in that position. No,
No, no, I'm staying away
really?
from Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
then,
no, I think the way I'm approaching this draft, and every draft I've had, I've picked the same person in the second round and whoever's available in the first round. Like the way that I want the draft to go is I want two studs at wide receiver and I want my hero running back to be selected here. And he's still on the board, so you can unpause it because I'm picking my guy. This is
Isaiah.
this is Pacheco. This is Pacheco from the Chiefs. He's got a chance to be, a top end running back in the league, in my opinion. He's my hero running back. I could set and forget that position. And I'm going to focus on other positions for the rest of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right pick there. You have two wide receivers, and I think after Pacheco, it kind of the running back position gets a little tight there. So it was Pacheco with Jimmy, and then Nico
So hold
Collins.
on, before you go, Jonathan. So if we think that two tight ends and a quarterback aren't gonna go this early, Jimmy, say that Pacheco's not there, right? So if Pacheco's not there, your next running back is Rashid White. Do you settle for him there, or are you going with a wide receiver?
No, I'm not taking a running back until the end of the draft then.
So then who would be your pick if you didn't have Pacheco? Because you have between Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Waddle, Pittman, couple quarterbacks, Malik Neighbors. What's like your thought process there?
So if no Pacheco there, which I
Well,
actually
and
do
you have
think with the
Nico
tight ends.
Collins.
Yes, right. So okay, so you're assuming Nico Collins was available.
Yes.
So I think the two tight ends definitely go in the beginning of the third round. I think that the quarterback, Josh Allen, goes before my pick as well. So I don't think that they're not going to be picked. I think they'll still be off the board. So if we include Nico Collins, exclude Pacheco from that pick, I think I think I'm taking Nico there. I'm thinking about these quarterbacks, but I think I'm taking Nico there, and my wide receivers through the flex position are set.
Yeah.
Smart choice.
So this pick here is going to surprise you guys. If you know me, you know I love taking rookies, and the best rookie wide receiver I think is Malik Neighbors. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be an all pro this year. If you watch Giants camp, Malik Neighbors is cooking every corner he faces. I think Malik Neighbors is going to be the best wide receiver out of this draft, even better than Marvin Harrison Jr. Honestly, Mike Evans, he's consistent. DJ Moore, I don't know. There's so many options there. So many options. You have DJ Moore, you have Keenan Allen, you have Roman Dunes, you have there's one more receiver there. I can't think. Jalen Waddle's a number 2.
Pittman.
I want to take Waddle, but I feel like I have so much stock in Waddle in every other league. I'm tired of taking him. Pittman, who knows? I don't know how that offense is going to do.
You also have Cooper Cup.
And yeah, I know, but Puka's there. I know he's hurt right now. But Neighbors, the name there just looks so juicy to me. Like, I'm willing to take a shot on Neighbors. Like, I think he's that good. I think he's going to have 1,000 yards this year. I'm taking, at this pick, 108, I'm passing all these guys, and I'm taking Malik Neighbors. You guys probably think I'm fucking shot out, but I love this pick for me.
I mean, yeah, I'm not high on taking
Yeah.
rookies early in a redraft, but I mean, like you said, he looks like an absolute stud in the camps, and honestly, I'm not that opposed of you taking this pick. I mean, honestly, it would have been him or Waddle for me, like if it was your pick.
So my thought process here is that I am going to end up with another one of these wide receivers. I really want Neighbors, but I know on the turnaround I'm going to get another one of these receivers. So I'm going to take the one I really want, and then the one I want a little less. That's my plan. If it works out, because there's still about 8 picks, so we'll see. But I'm
Yeah,
taking
so
Malik.
technically the turnaround Malik Neighbors should be there. Or
I
just
don't know.
about, Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's 40 ADP, right? And that's like pick 41.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you have to consider it's a 12-man league now.
Well, it is, yeah. So 4-5 is like pick 41.
Oh yeah.
It's 36 and then 5 more.
See, but this is what I hate because I don't think Mahomes and Hurts go here. So after Jonathan takes Neighbors, it goes Mahomes, Mike Evans, Jalen Hurts. Yes, in this situation, it's good for me because there's a lot of wide receivers that are out, but I just don't see these quarterbacks going that early. So like we said, DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, Cooper Cup, Lamar Jackson. Even though I have 2 wide receivers, right here, I think it's an obvious another wide receiver. Um, for me, honestly, it's between Jalen Waddle and Cooper Cup. I think Cooper Cup is going to have, one of his regular years now that he seems to be fully healthy. Puka looks like he's going to be injured to start the season or not 100%. So it might be a big workload for him. And then throughout the year, they kind of just share the workload. Waddle's always a solid pick. He always gets over 1,000 yards being a wide receiver too in Miami. DJ Moore, I'm not really big on him. I know they have like basically a whole new offense with wide receivers, quarterbacks, and everything. So I wouldn't take him here. And I've taken Michael Pittman in the past, and to me, he's just been an wide receiver. He never has like those 20+ breakout games. So honestly, here I would go with Cooper Cup.
Okay, so can I disagree with you?
Yeah, you always do.
Okay, so I'll give you a good reason though. So I think what you have, you have AJ Brown, dog, number 1 wide receiver. Garrett Wilson, dog, number 1 wide receiver. Why wouldn't you take a chance for your flex position of somebody with higher upside than Cup? Cup might be a safe pick, but do you think that like any of these players could potentially like have a bigger season than Cup? Like the Rams aren't necessarily like the highest octane offense. They may be top 12, top 10 in the league, but is there somebody else that you think that you could take a risk on? I don't like the Neighbors risk, honestly, for Jonathan, because I think that as your wide receiver 1 is a little bit much, but I think here you have room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, who would I take?
I would also say I think you need to grab a running back eventually. Like
Well, I mean, I have 2 picks here, so I'm kind of just going off the first pick. But I mean, who would you
Sure,
take
yeah.
here, Jimmy, as the first pick?
So
Like,
I would be
who's your risk
between.
guy that you're talking about?
I would
I
take
mean,
Michael
so
Pittman or Jalen Waddle.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
I would even make a case for DJ Moore. Like he's probably the number one in that offense. He's
And
probably going to be like like top of the rotation kind of guy. Like Keenan Allen may take some, but that offense probably going to be good. But I know for certain Miami's offense is good. Jalen Waddle, the second option in that offense. Michael
and
Pittman, he's got Anthony Richardson throwing on the ball. Could be good.
and you got to remember DJ Moore did just get an extension. They don't give out extensions to people who aren't their star players. He got a 4-year extension.
oh yeah, I agree. I just from Jimmy's perspective, I don't like. I understand I have two like dog wide receivers, but I don't think taking a risk at the third round is worth it. You know, for the flex because it could. If I take a risk and the guy doesn't work out, it's kind of like a wasted pick. I think it's worth taking a risk later, like say around 6, 7. Um, I
Always
mean, it's
take
back to
risks.
back picks, and if you look
Always
at running backs, you have Rashid White and James Cook, and then it kind of goes down a little. I
a
mean,
lot.
me personally, I would still take Cooper Cup and Rashid White as my two picks.
Okay.
Do it. Lock it in. Respect it. All right, so those are the picks. We got Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, and now
Oh,
Jonathan's on the board.
that turn did not work out as I planned. I thought I was gonna get one of those guys. That's what I was hoping. It would have worked out perfectly, but it didn't. So now I'm in I mean, I think the pick here is DK Metcalf. He's wide receiver 1. I don't think I go Devontae Smith. Um, I still think it's too early for me to take Trey McBride, but it's interesting. Last year, I don't know, man. Do I go Trey McBride? So these are my picks right here: Trey McBride, Metcalf, or Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith was wide receiver 19 last year.
I think this
Man,
is just funny because like obviously we are into fantasy a lot, and Jonathan is just skipping over the fact that Lamar Jackson and C.J. Stroud are still available. I think people might fold here and take one of them.
yeah, I don't fold, man. Laser vision. I know what my plan is. You got to have a plan. A lot of these guys were drafted don't have a plan. They're going to see Lamar Jackson, and their pants are going to get tight. They're going to see Travis Kelsey and Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Their pants are going to get tight. Me, I know what I'm doing. We know what we're doing. We, as a collective here, have an idea. It's hard. I think I go. Damn, bro. Past 2 years I've won. I had really good tight ends. Really good tight ends. I've had Sam Laporta. I got lucky, and then I had Kelsey. I'm on back to back right now. Trey McBride's not a bad value pick here, but then, there are some other guys down there. I'm not sold on any of these wide receivers right here, though.
So my thing here personally is I know you're not sold on wide receivers, but I feel like since you went running back to start, if you don't take a wide receiver here, you're basically settling for your wide receiver two to be an actual wide receiver two in the league. And there's not many wide receiver twos that can put up points like Jalen Waddle as a wide receiver two.
All right, since I'm doing a risky draft here, and this is the vibe I'm going for right now, I'm staying risky. I'm gonna take a guy who you guys probably think is shit, but I think he has a little better quarterback play now, and I think he might actually be the good this year. I think he's a breakout candidate as my wide receiver too. This is a really bad pick, and I don't recommend any of you take him. But I'm gonna go George Pickens.
I saw his name on the board and I knew you were going with that.
Wait, what is this ADP?
That's what I'm going with, man. George fucking
92. Where did you how far down did you scroll for him?
He was the fifth best wide receiver left on the board here.
Oh my god. That's a horrible pick.
You know
All right,
what's
Lamar's off
crazy?
the board. Go ahead.
You know what's crazy, guys? So I do drafts like this every year. I take rookies early. I do risky ass picks. But you know what I have on these guys here who think they're great football minds? I've went back to back. Back to
Oh,
back,
here we
baby.
go.
So I can get a little freaky. I can get a little crazy. Because I still
I
got my
had
mojo.
I had the best fantasy team of all time. Period. Period. I had the best team and I went 8-6. This is a luck-based game.
I guess I got lucky 2 years in a row. And I'm gonna get lucky again. But yeah, so Lamar went. Jimmy, you're on the clock. I think you're gonna take your boy James Cook here, or Trey
This
McBride.
was this was very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, yeah, this is good. So I think oh, this is tough. So Lamar Jackson, I was thinking about Lamar Jackson, but that him coming off the board makes it easier. There's no correlation to my team with him either, so I think that's a good thing to avoid. Um, oh damn, this is tough. I'm like stumped. If I get in this position, I'm stumped, genuinely.
You're gonna take the whole
All right.
time, aren't you?
So how much time is left?
No, I
Oh, you
paused it, but
paused.
I'm saying like on draft
No, no,
night,
no,
you're
we're
gonna
good. We're
take the
good.
whole time.
No, no, no. I'll have a plan. So then let's just go through the best available. CJ Stroud, I'm not taking him. Trey McBride, I don't think that I want him right here. Although he's very tempting. James Cook, I'm not going to take him either. I'm all set with my hero RB in this case, and then DK Metcalf's an interesting case. You know, number one receiver, putting him in my flex position there. Um, who's Seattle's quarterback? We got what's his name?
Geno
Help me
Smith,
out.
baby.
Geno
Geno
Smith.
Smith. Yes, should be good. Should be serviceable. Should be able to get his number one receiver the ball. Lockett's in that offense though. Ugh. All right, unpause it. You do something crazy.
You get crazy, baby. I like it. Oh,
Little
my
Trey
bad.
McBride. Little Trey
Little Trey
McBride.
McBride action.
We got Stroud, Metcalf, Devontae, James Cook, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Ken Walker, Kyle Pitts, Joe Mixon, Tank Dell. Now we are back. I love this pick. You don't even have to have it paused. I love this pick. This is fantastic value here. I'm going T Higgins in my flex. I believe in the offense of the Bengals. I just do.
So it went T. Higgins, then Dalton Kincaid. I'm gonna be honest with you. If Dalton Kincaid was on the board there, I was taking him. I think he has so much value now that Stephon Diggs has gone and there's not really a surefire wide receiver in Buffalo. He was tight end 11 last year, and I think he's gonna be even better this year. So that would have been my pick right there if he didn't go. Now I'm in a tough situation. I have two running backs, two risky wide receivers, two risky, and I mean very risky. So we have left on the board. I'm gonna do top five available: Kamara, Cooper, Richardson, Keenan, and Kittle. Honestly, I don't like any of them.
You gotta pause.
Oh, let me pause it. Sorry. I don't like any of these guys. I'm a guy on draft day. I kind of go down boards. I look for guys I like. I don't go after big names. I look for guys that I like, and I am going to take a wide receiver who has a rookie quarterback, a wide receiver who's consistent year in and year out, and I am going to take scary Terry McLaurin. I think
That's the wrong pick.
I think with the team in a better direction here, I think he's the pick here. These guys are gonna question my picks all the time, and I do this every year.
Horrible.
But guess what?
Jimmy,
Horrible.
this draft is so funny because I already know this is nothing like Jonathan would do on draft day.
Dude, that
Maybe
was
I
Amari Cooper, and it wasn't even close.
maybe I'm throwing you guys off right here. I don't know. Maybe
That's
I
dog.
am.
That's
My
dog shit.
strategy could be complete. Nick thinks my strategy is gonna be different. So
Bro, there's no way you take Pickens and McLaurin in this situation that you just did.
I don't know. Maybe.
But anyway, round 5 after Jonathan's pick, it goes Amari Cooper, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift. In this spot right here, I definitely wanted Alvin Kamara or DeAndre Swift. Them two going right there is not in my favor because you have Aaron Jones, James Conner, and David Montgomery, who, David Montgomery to me seems like the best option out of those three. But I'm not really a fan of having, an RB2 as a split back. So best options are Keenan Allen, George Kittle, Aaron Jones, James Conner, and Anthony Richardson. Definitely not taking Richardson here. I think for me, um, I mean, this guy's been top 10 almost his whole career in as a tight end. I'm taking George Kittle as one of the picks. And then second, it's kind of hard. I really wanted a running back here. I think not getting a running back here, tears down a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, my take here would probably be honestly, I probably would just go Aaron Jones.
So I like to go down in boards. I think the better pick would be Ramondre Stevenson. I like Ramondre more than Aaron Jones, but that's just me.
I've never been a fan of him,
I don't know
to be
why.
honest.
He's a
You got
dog.
paid.
It's just my take, but I've never been a fan of him. I mean, I'm gonna go with the picks I said:
Okay.
George Kittle and Aaron Jones.
All right.
All right.
Keep this interesting.
Round 6 after me, you went Christian Kirk, Anthony Richardson, and James Conner. Jonathan is now on the clock with the 6-5.
So I have some freaky picks here, right? Freaky picks. And we're gonna keep it freaky, man. We are going to keep it freaky. Keenan Allen, I just don't like. I'm sure he's gonna have a decent year, but he doesn't have that oomph. David Montgomery splitting goal line running back, not a big fan. Roma Dunes, no. Ramondre, no. Rashee Rice, I don't know if he's getting suspended or not. Who knows? I heard his case is in December. I still don't trust that. Uh, Jaden Reed is an interesting one. He's on an up and coming offense. He had a decent year last year. Jordan Addison, no. Chris Godwin, no. And that brings me to my guy, Xavier freaking Worthy, baby. Xavier Worthy. Listen, he to me is a better version of Hollywood Brown. I know they're on the same team. But I think Xavier Worthy's gonna. Nah, I'm kidding, guys. Are you fucking serious? Do you think I'm this dumb?
In a little bit. Your
Like,
wide receiver core looks like fuck. Ooh.
I'm going Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed. Okay. Rashee Rice goes thereafter. Let's see here. So I think for me, this one's pretty easy. I think this player has league-winning upside. There's some connection to my team, and this is going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Joe Glizzy.
Period. Joe Glizzy. Got a little T. Higgins, Joe Glizzy stack for my flex position. I got 2 onesies in tight end and quarterback. I'm loving my draft right now. We got Ramondre, David Montgomery, Dak, Keenan, Odunze, Godwin Murray, Zamir White, Brock Bowers, Najee Harris, and I'm back on the clock. So this is where it gets a little interesting, right? Because there's no running backs really close by here. I mean, Tony Pollard, perhaps. Let's see. Let's see what Tony Pollard's working with here.
Tony Pollard in Tennessee.
I don't think so. I don't think Tony Pollard's the way here. I think we could start throwing some darts. High upside players, players in good situations, um, ones that might surprise with their performance, like rookies, perhaps. You know how I love taking rookies in the draft. And
Yes.
I like this offense, so we're gonna go with Xavier Worthy. I know you wanted him. I
Uh,
know you did.
I did. I wanted it right there. So as Jimmy said, good offenses. There's a guy here. I know he's older, but he's the dream, man. He's the dream. Raheem the Dream Mostert,
Stop.
baby.
Do
Raheem,
not do it.
top 5 running back last year. I don't care what anyone says about him. He is a certified dog,
Oh my God.
and I'm taking Jordan Love.
Yeah, nice. You got the Reed Love connection.
That's kind of crazy because if Jordan Love fell to me here, I was taking him.
So let me explain this. Jordan Love is the best quarterback on the board here. He just got paid. I would have loved to wait for Tua, but I feel like after my next pick, a lot of quarterbacks are going to fall off the board. In the 7th round, I like Jordan Love there. My next pick is going to be probably a tight end.
Yeah, so after Jordan Love, it went Ingram, Addison, McConkey. This one's tough because I really wanted Jordan Love there because the best quarterback right now is Brock Purdy. His ADP is a little too high, I think, for this spot. Um, this is a situation I don't want to be in, because I'm not really a fan of any of these running backs. I already took my tight end, and then now it just comes down to if I want to settle for a wide receiver or not, which I already have 3. I think here though, just to wrap up my draft, I'm taking Brock Purdy. I think the quarterbacks tear down after that. I think he's pretty similar to Jordan Love. And then the next guy that I would take on this list, which you guys might think is a little surprise, but I think this guy's gonna have a good year on his new team. He hasn't really shown much position like PPR wise for his position, but I have a feeling he's gonna have a great year, and I'm taking Deontay Johnson.
I like that pick.
You do.
I
Carolina
like that
Panthers
pick.
offense.
I like that pick. So I was gonna go tight end, but there's still some decent options here. And a lot of these teams have tight ends that are ahead of me. I don't see anyone taking 2 tight ends already. So I'm gonna wait on tight ends. And at this pick, I'm gonna take a
Good. That's a good tip. Let's just we should highlight that. So every team ahead of you has a tight end. So you can circle back and get your pick of the litter for tight end if you want.
exactly. So guys, listen. If you see someone has, let's say, ahead of you quarterbacks, you can wait on a quarterback. No one's gonna take a second quarterback in the 8th round unless they're psychotic. Same with tight ends. So you can really analyze the draft before you pick. So I'm going to pass on tight end because I see everyone has a tight end now. And I'm going to take a guy who I think could have high upside. Another LSU wide receiver rookie. Listen, man, I'm gonna have Team LSU here. I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr.
E-Tom, baby. Heem the Dream going off the board ahead of me in round 8. All right, this is where we get interesting. So now we're in a position where, again, gotta take some swings. Gotta be looking down the board. You gotta be seeing what's available. You gotta be seeing what might loop back to you, right? Like those kinds of questions. I think that'd be a good pick there. That's also a good pick. This is where you want to start taking running backs again. So Jonathan Brooks, hurt, gonna be hurt to start the season. A little nervous. I'm not feeling him. Nick Chubb, I'm staying away from him like the plague. Javonte Williams could be the play here. Forget what his team's looking like. I think who else is in that backfield? Got Estime
Brian
and
Robinson.
Estimate Jaleel
no,
McLaughlin.
Jaleel McLaughlin. Yeah, I think it's Javonte's backfield.
Oh, you're talking about Javante. I thought you were talking about Eckler, to be honest.
No, not a clue. Staying away from him like the plague. I don't think Zach Moss is going to be the starting running back in Cincinnati, in all honesty. So I think Javonte Williams is my pick here, and I'm gonna lock that in for the 8th round.
All right, and we are going to stop at the 8th round just for time constraints.
I like how we did this draft because we kind of like filled in a whole roster. We all have one quarterback, a tight end already.
I don't have a tight end.
Oh, Jonathan doesn't have a tight end, but
All right,
I
so who
thought
would
you
you
did.
take
But
on the
who
loop?
would you take at the 9-8, and then we can end it there?
So are we gonna say one tight end goes or 2 or no?
I mean, you could just hit play.
Okay, let's hit play.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
I'll
no,
make a
'cause-
pick real quick here. I'll make a pick real
Just
quick
have
here, but
just have Jimmy just pick anyone random that's not a tight end, and then yeah.
damn, my 2 guys got off the. Oh, Joe and Joku left. All right, so you guys, I guess you have your Jake Ferguson pick. If I'm here, I'm going with Devin Singletary for early season production from the running
Kidding
back.
me?
That sucks.
Are you
Njoku and
kidding me?
Ferguson go 9.5, 9.7.
My God. So those were the two
It's
guys I
Dallas
was
Goedert.
targeting there. I have to take Dallas Goedert here, and let me just pause it there.
So
That's
Jonathan goes Dallas Goddard. That's a disappointing pick for the 9th round.
Why were there
Them two
four?
going
Why were
right
there four
before
tight ends? Why were there four tight ends? Why?
in a row.
Ferguson, Goddard, Schultz, and Hawkinson. Like, why?
That's
I
crazy.
guess
So
one team didn't have tight end, but whatever.
those are the 9 picks of our draft. Just do a quick recap. Jimmy goes where Amon-Ra, Ayuk, Pacheco, McBride, Higgins, Burrow, Worthy, Williams, and Singletary. Jonathan has Brees Hall, Travis Etienne, Neighbors, Pickens, McLaren, Reed, Love, Thomas, and Dallas Goddard. And I go with AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Rashid White, Cup, Kittle, Jones, Purdy, and Deontay Johnson. Let us know which team you think has the best pick of the 9 rounds that we've done.
Yep. Yeah. If you guys want, you could grade us. Let us know. But we appreciate you listening. We will be back next week. Wait, next week or no?
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. The week after that will be an off week. And then the week after that is draft time. We're gonna be fully prepped, ready to go. We're doing a draft party. It's gonna be fun as hell. But maybe we'll do one more mock, maybe a small one. But yeah, appreciate you listening to us. We'll catch you next week. Have a wonderful week and peace out. We'll catch y'all.